Hello, I'm Jonathan Milam, and I have a wonderful trumpet today. Just wanted to show and tell. This is called a Buffet Crampon. I believe that's the way it's pronounced. It's a horn from Europe, from Paris, that was manufactured, I believe, in the early to mid-60s. Of course, for those of you that know instruments, Buffet Crampon is known for their extremely fine quality clarinets. They didn't do much brass work. For that reason, and one of the interesting things about this horn, no one is sure quite who made it. I know there's at least one brassman in the United States that says Buffet Crampon made it, but most people feel that it was probably stenciled out. Another European manufacturer made the horn and just labeled it the Buffet Crampon. It does bear a real resemblance to some of the Henri Selmer trumpets that have been around and are very well liked, especially the K-Modified 24B. But it also bears a huge resemblance to an emo, which was one of the horns that Louis Armstrong played, at least on one of his tours in Australia and perhaps around the Pacific Rim area. So it's a unique horn. I think some extremely fine quality pieces. Of course, it's got a dual trigger for the first and third valve, and the third valve works very well, of course, as does the first slide. And then not only that, but you've also got a dump slide for the end of the trumpet. So you could leave it tuning, and I probably will, leave it out about 1/4 of an inch, and still you could use this for your C sharp, you could kick it out. That's probably what I do. Another feature that I really like, you've got silver plating over the first third of an inch of the tuning slide. So if you keep yours out again about 1/4 of an inch, a little more than it still looks very nice. I like the way they made this horn. It's got the recessed valves here, valve caps, and then of course the bottom valve caps, you've got the nice little circle. It's got some material here so that if you use a lot of tuning slide goop, and I usually do, it stops. It doesn't just spread it on down the valve or slide, but it stops it there. You can see a little bit of brass. You've got it, of course, on both sections. And the same thing here on the first slide. They just built that in. It's not a removable piece, but it just stops the slide goo from getting all over your slide or your oil, whichever you use. I really do lubricate these well to get the valve triggers working right. You need to lubricate it about like you would your valves, which, you know, not every time I play, but probably close to that. Another thing, I'm not sure if you can see it, but the bell wrap just seems to be wrapped slightly up along the top. You've got about 1/8 of an inch perimeter that goes around the bell. Very nice looking. It's just these things. And also on the third slide, you can't see it, but this is a reservoir. The slide actually thickens out the interior on this part, but this reservoir here will hold the additional slide lube you've got, or if you put oil in to make it work a little faster. I like that. That's only something that you find on finer horns, but I think it's real nice. A very interesting horn, very unusual to see them, and I think especially in condition like this, not new, definitely has had some work done to it through the years, but a nice horn and a good playing horn as well. I'll play just a moment and see how this comes out. It's an old chorus. My father was a pastor, Pentecostal pastor, and liked the old ones, as do I. And this one simply says, "Where he leads me, I will follow." I've heard the horn played jazzy. And of course, you can do that with any horn. But I think the quality is here to get a real strong sound. The bell is not what I'd consider a thin gauge brass, but it's not so heavy that it's dead. It really does have an attractive sound. You can pep it up a little bit, and it certainly is an easy horn to play that way as well. All right, very nice buffet crampon Paris model B-flat trumpet. Hope you've enjoyed this.